Good morning, FlossTube. This is scienceknister, Deborah, scienceknister on Instagram and Ravelry. Today is Saturday, July 22nd. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. We've been hovering a little over 300 subscribers. Thank you very much. I really appreciate comments and so forth that people have left. I try to respond to all of them. I hope you enjoy today's video. I was thinking this would be a short one. It might be on the shorter side for me because I need to be somewhere in a little over an hour. So we'll see if this works out. I had intended to record this on Thursday evening because I've been trying to record every third Thursday, but I am teaching this summer term, and it's been kind of a whirlwind. I tell my students it's very fast, and it's fast for us too, for us instructors. So I'd like to start off with telling you what is in whatever vessel I have for drinks this morning, since it's a Saturday morning. Normally on the weekends, I make myself what's really kind of like a cafe au lait, but I call it a latte. But it doesn't really have espresso in it, so it's technically not. Anyway, it's like half brewed coffee and half almond milk. I like mine with almond milk with a little sugar-free. Today I have vanilla. Usually I do hazelnut, but I have vanilla today. And I am trying a new coffee right now. Normally I get the Starbucks blonde espresso roast, which I really like. But they had a new blonde roast called Green Apron. And it's okay. I think I still prefer the blonde espresso roast. We have several coffee places in town here, and I keep thinking I need to try one of them and kind of branch out a little bit. But anyway, so that's what's in my mug this morning. Excuse me if I slurp. It's been quite warm here. So in addition to being rather exhausted, so in summer, our classes run Monday through Thursday. And I have lecture and lab pretty much back to back. So pretty much every day. So by Thursday, I'm pretty tired. And in addition, we've been running, since it's been really, really hot here in South Texas, although not as hot as Central Texas and some of the cities in North Texas, since we have the ocean breezes down here, where I live in Corpus Christi. What was I going to say? Oh, we've been running the temperature in the house a little bit higher, and this is on the second floor, so it's a little warmer up here. And then by the end of the day on Thursday, before we start turning the temperature down after it gets dark, it can be a little warm. So between being tired and it being warm, I was like, I'll wait till Saturday morning. It'll be cooler. The other thing I was kind of wondering about is the light on Saturday morning compared to Thursday evening. I know the last time I recorded, the light seemed kind of weird until it started getting dark. So I've been playing around with lights here. Hopefully this will be okay. If you watched the last video, or maybe if you haven't, go back and watch at least some of it and let me know which light you think works better in the evening or in the morning. I would appreciate that. So, if you haven't figured out yet, since this is a FlossTube, most of what I talk about is stitching. I also enjoy other crafts like spinning, and I have been doing a little bit of spinning, but my spinning wheel is downstairs and I didn't bring it up. So you won't get to see any of that. I need to post a picture on Instagram, actually. I've been sort of trying to spin along on the days of the Tour de France, but it's turned out really good and haven't been so good lately. So I want to start off with some things I've finished since my last FlossTube. And the first of these, just a couple of days after my last FlossTube, I did indeed finish this festive cardinal. This is from the Pigeon Coop. The Pigeon Coop is a Canadian designer. and he sells kits as well as his designs. This one was a special kit last year before Christmas, and I ordered it, and I ordered the full kit, and I should have been able to fully finish this because it's meant to finish in a hoop, and the hoop is provided, but I don't remember where I put the hoop for this one. So I need to find it, and then I can fully finish this as a hoop finish. I'm still debating on how I'm gonna finish the back. And once I do that, I will show it to you. Okay, so that's finish number 1. And all my finishes will actually, that I have to show you today are Christmas. So that was a Christmas one. And then for, I've been doing the Colorado Stitchers Summer Stitch Camp. And for July, the theme was something that grows. June was birds. And that was, I finished that festive cardinal for that one. That was the one I did for that in June. In July, something that grows. I decided to do another bird, although the piece I'm going to show you also has a flower in it, so a plant, which also grows. And this is an ornament or pillow that I've been wanting to do for a while. This is Comfort and Joy by Luminous Fiber Arts. It was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher for, I believe it was winter 2020. And but she's released it as a pattern now. You can buy either the pattern or a PDF from her website. And I'm sure you can buy the chart, the pattern, the paper pattern from your local needlework shop. There we go. So, so the festive cardinal was on the Ada with the DMC that came with it. This one was charted with DMC, and I used all the DMC that was called for. And I stitched it on 40 count vintage country mocha. There is one change I did make to this. This bird is supposed to be what's called a tufted titmouse. I changed it to be the black-capped titmouse, which is what we have here in South Texas. I believe it gets up in, maybe it's mainly in Central Texas and it gets down here. I forget its range. Whether you think it's a separate species or not, I'm a biologist. I haven't seen that, you know, if there's good evidence that it should be a separate species, but there's lots of things in Texas that are named separate species that probably shouldn't be. So that's Comfort and Joy. I enjoyed stitching that one. I had been planning to finish it as a pillow, like in the magazine and on the chart, but I think it's small enough. I might just do a padded mat board finish, like how I normally finish my ornaments, or I have my friend Susan do it for me. But I can do it myself. It's okay, Susan, I'm not going to ask you to do this one. I'll do it myself. In fact, I need to remind myself to go get some mat board to cut up and do that. So I used the called for colors on that one. And then my last finish for this month, so that I finished a couple days ago. This I finished last night. This is Minty and Mary, or Mary and Minty. It was a Brenda Gervais. It was a special release she did. You could buy it from her. I don't know if she's released it generally or if you can still get it on her website. But it was a mystery stitch along. And so I used the called for colors. It was a mixture of DMC and I want to say crescent colors, but that's whatever they became. The avocado that's in the tree, I had an old one, and so crescent colors is in my head because that's what classic color works. That's what they became. And then also, I think there was some weeks dye works in there too, like Oscar or something. But yeah. So I had been, I like to do my Santas as little stand-ups. And I think this was meant to be finished as a pin pillow. Oh, this is on 40 count Sparrow by Luminous FiberArts. And if I'd been thinking about it earlier, I probably would have left this off the top and maybe left out or moved around some of these snowflakes so I could do a stand-up and have this sit with my other Santas that are stand-ups. But not that I have a ton of them, but I do have a few. I could do it as a flat fold, which I might do, or I might just do an ornament. It's about the same size as that other one, so there would be cute ornaments together. Okay, so those are my finishes since my last floss tube. I do have a few things that I've worked on, and also several new starts. So the Comfort and Joy was a new start since my last floss tube, but I finished it. Okay, so let's do new starts next. So one of my new starts is from Whilst Iris Naps, and this was the exclusive from the Homespun Needlework and Cross Stitch or Homespun Needlework group on Facebook. It's that group on Facebook that they have exclusives through different shops from different designers every few months. And so this was one by Whilst Iris Naps. Let me show you the picture. So you, my understanding is that she'll release this sometime like a year from now. So, and this was through Hobby House provided the kit. So the way they, the person who runs, I'm blanking on her name. The person who runs the group, you know, she works really hard to work with the shops and the designers, and so the way it works is you have to buy the full kit, which makes sense because otherwise it's not, you know, it's not worth everybody's time to put all those together. So this was very popular, and it took a while for them to be able to gather enough material for everybody. And they had lots of different options. I think Hobby House and the woman that runs the group, you know, they and Christina, well, I like Iris Naps, they did a phenomenal job of, you know, trying to get everybody who wanted one what they wanted. So I decided I liked the fabric that came with it. So this is, I forget. I think it's, let me, okay, where did I put it? It's in the pattern. And I just put it aside and I don't know where I put it. Okay, let me get those out of the way. I'm sitting on my bed, in case you're wondering. Okay, so that's my next, oh, it's right in front of me. Okay, so. Okay, so the model was stitched on 36 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax, and I decided to go with the 40 count. I forget why, but I am using the Called For Weeks Dye Works, and so you can see this is what it looks like in the picture, and here's what it looks like in person. And you know, I got a decent start, not a ton. The fabric's really pretty. It's nice to work with. I'll definitely get more Needle and Flax someday. I am trying to be a little more frugal these days. So I'm saving up for some stuff. So it came with some fripperies. I think I've shown the kit before, but here are the threads. So it actually is more colorful than it, pictures just don't always do these things justice. But Christina did have a video where she had close-ups of it, and it's a very pretty sampler. So normally I usually am like, oh, that's pretty, I'll just wait, but I really liked this one and decided I wanted to go ahead and stitch it. And then I'm using a thread bed that my friend Susan made for me. Thank you, Susan. So let me put this back so it doesn't get lost. So I've been trying to work on this on Mondays. I did miss last Monday because I was still writing the exam I had to give Tuesday morning. So that was that. Okay, let me get that out of the way so I don't confuse myself. Okay, my next start, which I didn't really need to have any start, but realized I hadn't stitched a Barbara Anna animal in a dress in quite a while, like over a year, I think. So I decided to start the key, which I had kitted up back in 2020 when she released it. It doesn't really say what this fabric is, I don't think, but I'm using all the called for DMC, and I decided to kit it up with a 32 count, and now I'm gonna blank on what this linen is. It's I believe it's a Witcholt. Oops, this. So I got the head on the bird, and now I guess I'm just doing lots of birds right now. So I'm starting to work on her skirt. I haven't actually worked on this. I worked on her a few days the end of June and haven't worked on her since. I actually didn't stitch like the whole first full week of July. So I started Comfort and Joy on July 1st for cross stitch camp, and then I just didn't, I don't know, I kind of lost my stitching mojo for about a week. And basically I was just reading Kindle books when I had some free time rather than stitching. I don't know why. I kind of looked and like, oh, I don't feel like stitching that. I don't feel like stitching that. I actually kitted up something to stitch on the 4th of July that I ended up not stitching on. So, okay, time for some whips. So, right after my last FlossTube, we were coming up on Juneteenth, which is the holiday in celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation, and when former slaves found out that they were former slaves in the territories that were controlled by the Confederacy, mind you, not everywhere. And so I decided, in acknowledgement of Juneteenth, I wanted to work on Lindy Stitch's A Stitch for Sweet Freedom. I think I had shown this in my last one. So I think I might have stitched it. I think I was thinking about stitching it for Flag Day, and I ended up not. Anyway, so let's see. Let me do this. There we go. Did I change any colors? I forget. I think I changed this color. But I finally have the person on here. So I've got her torso and head. I wanted to make sure I got her head because person's torso without their head just didn't look right. So now I got to stitch her skirt and the flag, and then I'll be done. So I had finished, I think I did have this all finished. I hadn't finished the spools. And there was some stuff down here at the bottom I hadn't finished. So everything's done except the flag and the skirt of the dress. And I probably won't work on this again until next summer. Maybe. We'll see. I'm a very seasonal stitcher, so I tend... That's sort of a modern sampler. If you like samplers, that's sort of a modern take on a sampler. Here's my flosses that I'm using. So it's a mix of DMC and let's see, yeah, just some over dyes. Oh, I changed the red in her dress to a limited edition. It's Red Delicious. I forget what was called for, but I changed it. And I may have changed one or the other over dyes. I don't remember. Yeah, so it's a mix of classic colorworks. I think this Gentle Arts limited edition Red Delicious is actually in place of a classic colorworks, where my personal, like what I had in my stash for what was called for, was kind of old and a lot lighter than what was shown in the picture. So I decided, and another thread bed for my friend Susan. Okay, and I worked just a little bit, like hardly at all, on Jingle Jolly Joy by Luminous Fiber Arts. This was her Christmas sale from a couple years ago, 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021. And I'm using the called for colors, and one of the new thread beds my friend Susan sent me most recently. I am stitching this on, I believe this is the called for Opulence, but I'm stitching it on 40 count. I don't remember what it was called. It might have been 32. So I think I just put in a few more stitches on the scarf. It's like hardly worth showing. I had intended to work on this more. But did I? No. I almost worked on it the other night after I finished Comfort and Joy, but I was pretty tired and I didn't feel like counting. Okay, I think, I was gonna say, I think everything else is a sampler, but not quite. So back in, I think it was April or May, in the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, we decided to stitch the Tudor Bee by the Blue Flower. There's a special version of this that was designed specifically for the guild for their 20th anniversary, but I joined the guild after that was released, so I wasn't able to get that, but Janine redid it a little bit and released it as a chart, and so I had bought the chart a while ago and kitted it up with the, I think it's all DMC, yeah, with the called for DMC. And so you can see I'm kind of in the midst of changing how I do my floss. I used to bobbinate. I inherited some that were in floss bags, and then I've most recently moved to using the floss drop type things, and my plan is, like, when I'm not using them, I'll store them in a flossaway bag to keep, so it'd be easy to keep them in bins. So kind of in the middle of everything. So I'm stitching this on 40 count purled barley by Lakeside. Just some I had in my stash. I'm using the called for DMC. So I need to finish this, because if I finish this, I get a what are they called? A little frippery that of the Tudor bee, basically, that I can put on other things. I think it's like a floss tag. I forget what they call them, but you know what I'm talking about. I just showed you the one for Mary Gibson. You know, I think I forgot to say what that was. It was Mary Gibson. Maybe I should do these more than once a month so I don't forget what the heck I'm doing. Anyway, this is really pretty, and I really need to finish this. It's just, I'm in a place where there's like a lot of counting, and these days I don't seem to have the brain power. But that's when I plan to work on and try to get finished this month. Okay. The sampler I've worked on the most this past month is Jane Hardy. Okay, so this is basically Jane Hardy. Okay, so one of these, I get one of these with the Tudor bee on it if I finish it in the, I'm not sure what the deadline is. I need to ask, but I'm afraid to ask because I'm not sure I can finish it that fast. I guess the light is not very good right now, is it? I think it's getting worse and getting instead of better because it's clouding up. Wow, we haven't had clouds like this in a while. This might be a good thing. We do need rain, and clouds would help cool things down. So anyway, that's what Jane Hardy looks like. But I'm actually almost done. Well, relatively speaking. Here's my, in fact, don't have many colors left in my thread bed. I'm using for this one because all I have left, I only have 3 colors I need to worry about right now. The mortar on here, on the house, the grass, and then the red to fill in the flowers. So I actually have a lot of flowers to fill in. So I try to do, when I work on this, normally I work on it on Sundays, and then since I'm just into fill-in, there's no counting involved. You know, on nights that I'm too tired to do anything else, if I want to do a little stitching, I pull this out and either work on the grass or, you know, so I try to do a little bit on the grass and then do 1 or 2 of these, do a little bit of the mortar, just sort of spread it around so I'm not left with like all the grass or all the flowers to fill in. I am thinking about putting my initials and the year on here somewhere. So I kind of messed up the placement of the house, and so there isn't actually room to put Jane Hardy 1848, 49, whatever it is, 1840 I think it is, where you're supposed to, because I just place these things based on where the house was. But I think I might put like my initials up here and maybe the year over here. I'm really mangling this, aren't I? Maybe I might have room for the year here, like my initials here and the year here. We'll see. I'm still thinking about it, what I want to do. Excuse me. Okay, so that's Jane Hardy, and I am stitching her on 36 count ballet slippers by Fox and Rabbit. 36 count used to be my favorite, but I find myself actually feeling like the weave on 36 is a little too loose. You know, even though pretty much all of the, well, all the overdyes, not overdye, but all the hand-dyed linens that I use are Zweigart based, so that's not the problem. But so I find I've got a lot of things going on 40 count also, and I find I just like, it's a little bit tighter weave, feels like anyway. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know what you think in terms of, you know, if you stitch on 36 and 40 count, what do you think? So 36 count used to be my go-to, but I'm starting to feel like I'm liking the 40 count better. I don't know. The last of my whips I just worked on pretty much, I think, just one day. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. Is Rose Ada Featherstone. So this was exclusive to the Hobby House. I don't know if there's any charts left or not. So here's where I am. I think I worked on the boat and this butterfly maybe. And a little bit, oh yeah, and I think I worked a little bit on the border. I try to do like a little border, a motif when I work on something like this, so that I'm not left like with all the border at the end. Because a lot of times I find the border kind of boring. But anyway, I'd love to finish this one this year. But then I'm in so many sales that I haven't been working on. I think, I don't know who coined the term, but I remember Michelle Bendy-Stitchy saying, maybe we should call it start along, and rather than stitch along. And I feel that. I do. Okay. Some haul. My haul is actually going to also be some, what I've kitted up recently. So I can't remember if I bought these before my last FlossTube or not, but I had recently purchased both of the recent Tiny Towns by Heart and Hand. Heart and Hand used to be like one of my go-to designers, and I have a lot of her stuff. It was Heart back in the day, in the early aughts, when I really got back into cross stitch. The first time I got back into cross stitch, not that I really left, but when I got into more modern cross stitch, not just for magazines, but buying stuff by designers because I had a local needlework shop, I bought a lot of Lizzie Kate and Heart and Hand. So I actually have threaded up this one. I bought the threads that I needed for this one, and I kitted up this one. I'm still dithering about which of the fabrics in my stash I'm going to use for this one, but I'm planning to use a 36 count for both of them, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to finish them as drums or some kind of flat finish. I haven't decided, but I decided to go with this hand-dyed, over-dyed, hand-dyed linen from my stash, a 36 count. It's a, you know, it's a neutral that I bought to make samplers, and I think it's kind of neutral and a little tiny bit on the grayish side, which I think will do well with all of the, and these are most of the threads, not all of them. There's a couple of them that I'm switching out for the DMC, just because of, you know, where, you know, like it's just a few stitches here and there, so I use an overdye. And I think there's a couple of the overdyes I still need to figure out where they are. I have them, and I'm using this thread bed, so you can't read this, I'm sure, but it says, sand beneath my feet, drink in the wild air, the beach is calling and I must go. And things, beach bliss, on the pier, sun kiss. Anyway, I thought it was perfect for Seaside Tiny Town. That's the thread bed I'm using with that one. This is a recent one that Susan sent me. Thank you, Susan. I told her I should learn how to make these. And she said, oh, or you could just get them from me. Like, okay, I like that. Okay. Another thing, so this again, I'm pretty sure I haven't shown that I have bought all of the Polar Plunge from Hands On Design. So I was watching her FlossTube, one of her FlossTubes, where they released, oh, where did I put my Kindle? I thought I had it right here. I know I just, there it is. It's right behind me. How it got back there, I don't know. Because I've been moving things around. Okay, so she released N is for Narwhal. And this is the last one of the Polar Plunge. It's only available from her and it's only available as a PDF because she is donating, Hands On Design is donating the proceeds to, excuse me, Special Olympics. And so I decided to buy this, and I have bought all the rest of them, and I have kitted it up. So there's the Polar Bear P, the Wally the Walrus, Whale Hello There, Penguin Pair. My spouse loves penguins, so I'm definitely, actually, I'm going to stitch all of them. And of course, Puffin Party. We love birds, so we're definitely doing those. And I don't have anything exactly like the blue here, but I have this 36 count Zephyr from, as a Picture This Plus. I bought this a while ago from, I think I bought it from, yeah, from Rogue Stitching. So you can see that it's actually, it's coming across as baby blue, but it's actually, there's just the slightest aqua tinge to it that, so it looks a little more like this blue in real life. I'm just not getting a good color on this one. Maybe nighttime is better. Anyway, I think it's close enough that it's not quite as vibrant. These are the colors. And here's the thread bed I'm using. Another new one from Susan. But I think the colors will look good on here. So I bought all the classic Colorworks that are called for this one. And Lady Dot Creates has done a little frippery that I decided I have this red scissors that normally actually lives with my red work bag, in red work embroidery. But these are really well made, and it came really fast. And there was a little issue with my order. I actually ordered 2 of these and only one came, and I contacted her through Etsy. It's interesting because if you go to Etsy, it's like, let us know if there's a problem and we'll fix it for, like, no, I just want to go right to the person. So I messaged her through Etsy and said, there was only one. And she, like, I told her, like, I don't need it right away because she had stuff going on. I was like, and she, like, sent it out right away. She, like, fixed it right away. You know, this is, I'm sure many of you have ordered stuff from Lady Dot Creates. This is very well made. I would definitely will order from her again. It's like the fripperies I showed last time from Socks for Mom. I will definitely order from Becky again too. So it's a little narwhal, I can, and so again, and then the colors here are chosen. I guess these are the colors for Special Olympics, black and red. So I put it on my red scissors, and my red scissors are gonna live in the Polar Plunge. Now the thing I'm trying to decide is, do I want to stitch these each separately? I could finish them like this, or I could just finish them. I know Helen D of East Coast Crafter on Etsy, she is not putting them on anything like this. She's just doing it this size, or just the main part. And I could do that too, but I was actually thinking of putting them all in a row, or, well, there's 9 of them, so maybe I could arrange them somehow. I need to think about it, how I might want to do it. Because I could do 3 and 3, just do them all together. I could do 3 at a time and do little flat folds. I have a mantle that I put things on at Christmas time. Anyway, I'm trying to decide, which is why I haven't started one yet, because that will dictate how I use my fabric. I would like to start one soon, but I'd also like to start that seaside tiny town soon. So it's still Christmas in July, right? I've got a few more days. What I will probably start instead, if I don't, although I actually have another luminous fiber arts. Oh shoot, where did I put that one? Because I kitted that one up too. I'll just show you on my Kindle. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so I might start another luminous fiber arts, either her current mystery cell, which has been entirely released, so it's not a mystery anymore. Or there's another one of her ornaments that I bought a while ago that I haven't stitched yet, that I actually had fully kitted up at one point. And I think I put everything back in my stash, or it's like things have gone into other projects, but anyway. So the other thing I kitted up is, this was from last year's Jingle Ball. Are you guys getting ready for Jingle Ball? I can't wait till that she's been announcing. Stephanie of Lindy Stitches has been, I think all the designers have been announced. I'm really excited for this year too. I'm hoping I'll have time to actually participate. This last year I signed up, and I think I didn't actually, I joined in like a stitch table, like technically after everything was over. Anyway, so this is Oh Christmas 3 is now released as a pattern. It was originally only available to people who went to the Jingle Ball, and I decided to buy the laser cut forms for this, and I'm going to stitch it on some 32 count Ugana that I have in my stash. And I went ahead and bought the Color and Cotton Floss Pack. I think I bought it directly from Color and Cotton. I can't remember. Can't remember if I bought it. I think you have to buy these from Color and Cotton. Okay, guys, it was like a month ago I bought these. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's getting really cloudy out there. This might be good. Maybe it won't be so friggin' hot today. Anyway, bad for being able to see what I'm doing, but, you know, I'm showing you. But it's good. It's good for the heat. So these are the colors. Which are some of my favorite colors, or my favorite combination of colors. Either red or rust, yellow, blue, and gold, and green. And I didn't have another Christmas thread bed, so I stuck this one in here because I thought it kind of went with the colors. It's another one of the new ones Susan sent me this past month. Okay, so I'm ready to start this one. So this is probably the one that I'll start next. We shall see. Oh, I need to put those threads back here. I need to put them on a ring is what I need to do. I think I hadn't put them on a ring yet because I was thinking I would show them as part of my haul. my haul has actually been what I've kitted up, because pretty much everything that I've purchased relatively recently has gone right into putting things up. Okay, so the only other thing I really have to show are some more of the thread beds, and these are hardly any. So Susan, I've already used actually this one I've actually already used. I was using it to finish up Minty and Mary, or Mary and Minty, whatever it's called. But I got a few more left for other projects. I do recycle them as I finish projects, but the problem is I haven't been finishing as much as I've been starting the last few years. I think that's all. So let me show you the Luminous Fiber Arts. So one of my other recent purchases was this, the Merry Greetings Mystery Stitch Along. So yesterday, what? Where did they go? Oh, somehow this one didn't update. There we go. Okay. So the latest clue, the final clue just came out. So if you haven't downloaded your clue yet and you want to be surprised, look away. Aren't those cute? So she released them like a row at a time. First she just released the border as like when you bought it. And so these last two were okay. So you can look again if you wanted to be surprised. You can still purchase, I believe. If not, you'll be able to purchase soon as a chart, you know, not in parts, but all together as one. So I'm trying to decide. So they're little like postage stamps, and I'm thinking I'm probably not going to stitch it as one piece, although I kitted it so that I could do that. So this is mainly, it's a mix of DMC. I think it's about half DMC and half overdyes, and the overdyes are a mix of Weeks Dye Works and Classic Colorworks. The model I think was stitched on 32 count. Yeah, 32 count Sparrow. And I was going to stitch it on 36 count Sparrow, but I couldn't find, I thought I had a big piece of 36 count Sparrow left in my stash, but apparently not. Or at least the one that I have is a lot darker than the other Sparrow that I have. It's more like a really dark, there's a picture of this plus Legacy. It's like a really dark picture of this plus Legacy. And it was darker than I wanted. So I had also have some 36 count vintage country mocha, and I had a big enough piece that if I want to do it as one piece, I can on the 36 count, which so I'm going to use that. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to stitch them individually, and then like the Santa I can put with my Santa collection, probably what I'll stitch first are the reindeer, especially the one with the red nose. So that's pretty much it. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. A lot of times I purchase things as PDFs and then I forget to show them to you guys. I had actually a while ago purchased several things from the Wishing Thorn, like some samplers. She also has some freebies. So I bought this. It has 2 sampler charts as one, the Tyndale Sisters. I would like to stitch these at some point. It's just I've got so many samplers on the go right now. And then there was another one. Was it this one? Yes, this one. Sarah Plummer. This one's a really pretty one. Blue and yellows with some browns. And it's from the 1700s, which is kind of interesting. And then I think there was another one that I bought from her. Yeah, this one. The Mysterious M Sampler from the 1800s. That's a real pretty one. Small. That should be easily doable. Was there anything else? I think most of the other ones I bought from or got from her were freebies. And then several months ago, I'm gonna forget the name. Several months ago, Ellen Chester, Needlework Ellen on Instagram, had posted about a friend of hers in, can't remember if it was Australia or New Zealand, who, because of flooding, basically lost everything in her shop. And she had Barberry Row, that's what it was. So she had PDFs for sale to help raise, help start earning some money again. And so I bought 2 of the samplers, the Hannah Simple Sampler, nice and colorful, and then another sampler that's just called, it's S.A. Percival, but the name of the chart is God is Love, because that is on the chart. So another pretty colorful sampler. That wouldn't be too, that would be a relatively fast stitch. Maybe I'll try to do that one later this year. I was kind of on a roll doing small hands across the sea samplers about once a month, but then I picked Jane Hardy. And she's taken me a while longer than I anticipated. There's a lot of dense stitching there, unlike some of the other earlier ones I did this year. Anyway, that's what I got. I also been collecting, haven't started sewing, this year's designer mystery quilt from Fat Quarter Shop. So I've got the first 2 blocks, getting the blocks monthly. So I've got the first 2 blocks. I have the kit to do their, the other quilt, the Bountiful quilt. Haven't started sewing that one either. My spouse still has my sewing room captive to start seeds for his flower business. Anyway, so, and I meant to bring the quilt blocks to show you, but I left them in the other room. So we won't worry about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been working on. I'm still not quite sure what my plans are for August for summer camp. It's supposed to be something new, either new to designer or new technique, something new. And my original plan, and I'm probably still going to go with it because I've got it all kitted up, was to stitch October House, the beehive thing. I forget what it's called. But I have that kitted up and ready to go in case that's what I want to do. Or I just might work on one of these and forget about trying to do the last month of the summer stitch camp, or camp stitch along, whatever that Colorado Cross Stitcher is doing. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed. You'll have to tune in next month. I'm not sure if I'll either do the third Thursday or I'll do the following Saturday. I think the following Saturday I actually have a online class through the Two to Row Sampler Guild workshop that I'm participating in. So I'll have to look and then decide. It might partly depend on how tired I am, although summer too will be over. But I'll be getting ready for fall classes to start. So I'll either do it that Thursday, the third Thursday in the evening, or I'll do it Saturday morning. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you'll come back. I hope you'll like the video if you liked it. And if you haven't subscribed, that you'll consider subscribing and letting your friends know about me. I do have very eclectic tastes. I do stitch a lot of samplers, but obviously that's not all I stitch. And anyway, hope to see you in about a month. And don't forget, take time to be kind to yourself and always be kind to your neighbor. Bye.